You're reviewing Polly P Thompson this morning. It's Wednesday, May 27th. We will be asking questions and talking with her. This is a test. Thank you. Polly, would you give me your full name, please?
Lillian?
Lillian? Okay.
Myrtle?
Myrtle?
Polly?
Polly?
Thompson.
Thompson.
Did I get Povey in there?
No, but we'll put it in there. And it's Povey, is that right?
I was so intent.
Yeah, you.
Yeah. The Polly is the nickname, but I've
Okay.
used it to the point that I think I'll have to add it. So
Okay, that's fine. So it's
I never
Lillian.
used the Myrtle.
Okay, Lillian, is that spelled L-I?
Lillian.
L-A-N, right. Myrtle, Polly, in quotes, Povey Thompson.
Yes, and Povey is spelled Povey.
That's right. Okay, and your address?
806 Southwest Vista Avenue, Portland, Oregon.
And the zip code?
972-05-1223.
And your phone number?
The residence is 223-6495. The office, 223-0464.
0464.
I left out the area code.
That's
503.
I've got that. Okay, and the date of your birth?
December 27, 1904.
Okay, and your education?
Irvington Grammar School.
Okay. That is
1
in
year
Portland?
Yeah, 1 year at Jefferson High. And 3 years at Allen College Preparatory School.
And 3 years at where?
Allen, Allen, College Preparatory School.
And where is that located?
That was on what street? It's a street. It's
On
the side
in
street
Portland?
is southeast.
Southeast Portland?
12th is on the side.
12th.
That's okay.
And
It's no longer there, is it?
Yeah.
Is it is?
Yeah.
the building is still there.
The building?
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's not a
But
school
the
anymore.
school is not.
I see, okay. And then where did you attend college?
There was only 40 students. It was limited to that.
Oh, that's interesting. And your college? Work? University?
Yeah. I worked for a year before going to college. I worked in the studio. Colby Brothers Glass Company.
Povey Brothers, okay. And then where?
Then let's see, I was there, I majored in architecture, then I married Ray.
Where did you go to school?
University of Oregon.
University of Oregon. Okay. In architecture. And what year was that?
That was January 4th or 5th. It was 4th, wasn't it?
I don't know.
that you were in the university?
1929.
At the University of Oregon? 1929?
Yeah.
Okay.
We weren't married in Eugene.
Okay. And you graduated?
We intended that I finished school and we married secretly. But
while
then
you were in school?
I was in school, but he had finished. He was working in
I,
Portland.
I had finished.
You had an eye for the younger lady, huh?
Yeah.
That's great.
Well, as a matter of fact,
I'm 8 years
she
older.
did a freshman problem, and it was such a beautiful drawing that I fell in love with her.
Because of her drawing, huh?
That was it. Yeah.
Yeah, you fell in love with Polly because of her beautiful drawings, huh? But you wanted to keep it a secret for a while, huh?
And then he went, he'd borrowed money for the last year. I mean, he worked a year before he went to college.
Mm-hmm.
And so he just studied hard. And then after that he had a job to work at. And then the fifth year, that's when he borrowed money. And he had to pay that back. And he had a chance to go over to Idaho at a much better salary than in Portland. So he went over there.
That's it. And you followed him.
And in June we decided that we'd try to get educated anyway later.
So when did you finally
we mastered
graduate,
in June.
Polly?
And so then I was out of school. Well, when I went over there, I took a course in, I started taking a course in shorthand because that would be simple. At that time, you see, it was before the crash and jobs were.
Or the Big Depression? And what did you go to do in Idaho? Ray, were you teaching or were you practicing?
No, he was.
No, I was working for Turtle Off Normal.
And that was the big firm over there. And then, you know, the process of the last one on is usually the
First to go,
one. Yeah.
right.
And he asked Turtelot and Hummel, would he be kept on through the whole winter, or would the work give out later? And they said, well, it would be later. And he said, in that case, would they mind if he left in September, the 1st of September? And they said, well, they can manage. Yeah. They understood. And so he decided that he would have paid off the loan, and we could try to make another jump. By that time, we planned that we would go on east, and he'd go to graduate school, and I'd try to go to school. And so we hunted around, and we bought a car. He paid $25 for the car. $15 was worth the license. I mean, it was what they called a bug. It had no top. It had no mud guards. And it had a spare tire, and it had a windshield. Some of them don't have those things. And we thought, well, it's wonderful weather. We'll have a wonderful vacation, and we won't have much money when we get to Denver, but we'll make it. And so we took things to swim and have a wonderful time. We were going to go through Yellowstone on the way, and we left. The mistake was we should have had the emergency winter clothes that everybody who travels should have had.
In the Rockies.
The weather changed. They closed down the national parks because of the severity, and we went through snowstorms.
Oh,
And it was really quite an exciting thing. We went through the red mud desert, and the car had no mud guards, and it threw mud way up, and they were plummet down on top of us.
Oh,
And we used towels underneath really a summer coat and socks on our hands to get through the bad part. And then we got through to Denver. And there he got a job with Hoyt's,
M.H. Wright and Burnham White.
and Burnham Hoyt. And I got a job with Temple Buell. Both of them fine architects, members of the AIA. And I was a tracer. Ray was a designer with, we were there until in February, my sister was dying of cancer in New York, and my other sisters had small children and couldn't go.
Well, never mind the other
So I
children.
went there. And then when I came back, in the meantime, Ray had gone on. The work finally gave out us
in Denver.
at about that time. The Depression had hit in October.
1920 or 30?
1929.
29. This was all. Then when did you go east? Did you
Well,
go on?
we were on the way then, and that was Denver, and he went to St. Louis, and then I came back to St. Louis. Another sister was there, and her husband, and he worked for Lime Keeler. That was Ray Lime Keeler, but he'd had a hard time. He knew that there was very little, and he was just lucky. He hadn't. We're not Catholics, even though he teaches at the University of Portland. But as a thesis, he decided he had to do a large church.
Now, Polly, I'm going to have to get back to you.
We'll got to do that.
We'll interview Ray
He
another
knew that
time.
I couldn't. I mean, that there weren't anything, and I got a job as a secretary to the director of the St. Louis Art League, and my typing wasn't great, but I mean, I could type. And the thing was, I had the art background that they preferred. Mr. Curley, the director, said, oh, he could get a lot of excellent ones, just perfect, but he'd much rather have me be slow than to have a real fast one that didn't know all about it. And my desk was sitting in the gallery where they had a very large gallery, and I did the work there, and also kept an eye on them.
And then when did you get back into school?
And they were largely responsible in the end for saving the courthouse there. And so
That's great.
it was a good thing. He had been a director of the Art Museum of St. Louis Art.
Great.
And then Ray, the work for Lime Keeler gave out, it finished, and he was out of a job. He went on to New York and finally got a job in the Brooklyn Edison Company as a structural engineer in the Mechanical Design Bureau. And so then I came, but there was absolutely, he had hunted a long time before he found anything. And I went on to and studied typing some more and shorthand. And then in that winter, a friend of ours, a doctor, took us on a trip up to New England. And we saw Tommy Hansen, who'd gone to MIT. I mean, he would, yeah. but he had been a student and graduated from Oregon, University of Oregon. And when he saw Ray and knew that Ray was going to eventually go to MIT, he said, hurry up and put it in right now. Put it in, don't delay, don't get your experience first. You've had enough, you'll make a lot. And he was, Tommy was at Harvard because he didn't feel like asking for another scholarship the second year at MIT. And so Ray, the next, after we got back, he went up, saw the MIT people, and they wanted all the work that he had done at Oregon be sent back. Well, he got it. And so then he went to MIT, and I was going to stay and hang on to the job that I had gotten in New York, which was they'd advertised for an artist and secretary, or an artist, and it was in the advertising department of a large bakery, the Dugan Brothers, and they had about 100, I think it was 80-something answers, and I was the only one that made a drawing. All the others typed to show that they could type.
So that's how you got the job.
So that's how I got the job.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay, then when did you go to school and where?
And then when Ray was went up, or before he went up, when he was given the scholarship, told that he had it, Dean Emerson's didn't want to separate it. He said he didn't like that. He would make up, if I would come up and get any kind of a job that I could get, he would fill in so that we could manage to live. And I thought that was wonderful.
Yes.
Well, then I went. So and a nice thing, I got part-time work there, and they allowed, at MIT, they allowed the wives to go to as what do you call it, audience. I could attend, but not. No credit.
Yeah, for not credit.
I can't think of the word.
Audit.
Yeah,
Audit the classes.
And so I was able to do that, and I volunteered for the women's League of Women's Voters. I gave some time to that because you just can't go all day long doing it. And that finished out the year that way. And then there was seemingly no work at all, and there were everybody was out of work.
Just a second. It's recorded. Then you went back. Then you started classes at MIT.
Yeah.
And what year was that?
Well,
do you remember?
At the end of that year, you see, Ray got a job, and I would have not gotten a job if they had somebody who had worked in an office that wanted the job that I got. But at the time, there was no woman that ever, or no man that wanted it. And the architects and engineers went together and had a relief. The ones that worked gave money into this fund, and the other unemployed people got a small amount of money. And they needed one more secretary for the director. And I got that.
There was Boston, New York, and Washington all in on that, weren't they?
That was an AIA thing that was.
Is that right?
Yeah.
The AIA put that together.
Now, no, most people are unaware of that.
Yeah.
But all the architects who had work contributed to it.
That
to help the
money
others.
was given to people who ordinarily would have been employed, but had no jobs.
I got to work about another year on that. They finally somebody applied, and then
And
they
they
had
got
it
that?
when the first one was out. But it was fine to have it, and that was most interesting because it was all on architecture and the terrible conditions in buildings, and it gave you a really idea of how terrible the tenements were, and fire hazards and bad health. And well, let's see.
Then you went to school and you graduated in what year?
Well, my sister came, wrote and said, if I come, she was in Minneapolis, if I come to Boston, would you come in west with me, drive out west with me? Her husband was building a road to Yellowstone. So she came. She took us to Cape Cod, down to New York City, to Philadelphia, to Washington, D.C., and then we went across country, camping on the way. And we had
Never mind.
We've got to find out when you graduated.
When I got to Oregon, I had tried to see if I could enter college at Wellesley, which was very close to Boston, you see. And they said I would not be able to get into any good college because I had an incomplete, I had a flunk, that was it, from the University of Oregon. The professor,
Wilcox.
W.R.B. Wilcox, had been very lax in making people do their work on time. And you could have all the time you wanted, and that was the great fault of the school, as far as we're concerned. And one day he decided he was going to make them do it. And he gave very little work to do, something that would not take a great deal for this one particular class. And I decided I'd have it done. And I was working on it late, and I got a telephone call that my mother was in, what do you call it, respirator tank, and not expected to live through the night, and hurry to get home. Well, the bus, I don't know whether it was the train or the bus, left at something like 4 in the morning, and I had to get out of the dormitory. One term, just the one term to get rid of it.
At the University of Oregon.
And I did the one term. I cleared the flunk, and they improved the class to.
Where did you go after that? Where did you go to school?
Well, then I discovered I could work for honors. And with that, I called Ray, and we decided I would go on. That would mean finishing that year and one more year. And I was the only student that had done it. I don't know whether they'd have it anymore or not. They said it took too much time because an honor student got a lot more attention than any of the other students. But anyway,
well, you deserved it.
So
okay.
I got that, and then I applied at MIT.
Hilda Wonker got the same thing later.
What?
Hilda Wonker. Hilda Wonker.
Oh, she got one later?
Yes.
Well, that was fine.
And you applied at
an
MIT?
artist. She was an architect. What?
You applied at MIT?
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
And went back?
Oh, well, no, wait.
She applied for a scholarship at MIT,
Mm-hmm.
and since she had never been a student there, they said they wouldn't give it to her, but they said if you were a student, you could get it. So she worked. So she went 1 year, no, 1 semester as a
Yeah,
student,
I went, we paid
and
the fee
then she got a scholarship.
based on the work that I did.
I see. And then when did you graduate? What year?
That was,
She, I don't know.
well, here. I'm gonna put it down here.
We finally decided it didn't matter much, and so we made it 5 years after mine.
1938.
Okay, graduated
Mhm.
from MIT in 1938.
I got a Bachelor of Architecture.
Okay, then I need to ask you,
And at that time, I mean, and we mortgaged Ray's salary and went to Europe.
that sounds great. I would celebrate too. Okay, then Holly, when did you get registered? What year?
54.
1954. In where? Here in Oregon?
Well,
Yes.
no. Oh, yeah, that,
You got
oh, wait,
registered.
I was
Whatever.
registered in
Whatever it says up here.
well, here,
Let's
up
see.
here.
53.
Hey, Holly, I need you to talk to.
July 53. Or part.
43. 8th day of November, 1943. This is Boston. But I was,
Oh, that was back there.
1943 in
I think
Boston.
I was in the AIA before I was,
Massachusetts.
well, you see, Massachusetts was the second from the last to get registered.
Oh, they have a
Uh-huh.
registration board?
Up in Pittsfield, there was where,
Okay, now, we,
there was a plumber that was a plumber and architect. Had a rubber stamp.
okay, now, I need to move on and ask about your work history.
Mhm.
After you got your registration,
Oh, well, I started, I worked for an architect before after I had 1 year at Oregon. I worked in Portland for DeYoung and Rowe, and it's spelled D-E, capital D-E, capital Y-O-U-N-G, and Road, R-O-A-L-D.
okay?
He was a Norwegian. Okay, nice.
Okay, and that was
Now
in,
they did the hotel up there.
Oh, yeah, I was there for all summer, and they did their best to discourage me by showing me all the things that I'd have to do, and they were just awfully nice. Johnny Snyder, whom you remember,
mm-hmm.
was the chief draftsman. Bud Himes was the office boy draftsman.
No kidding.
And
That's interesting.
that was it. And Mr. Young was the one who was outside, and they had the drawings for the theater, which is now the Schnitzer building, and the 2 hotels. And they took me up in the Go Devil, and it had it was only a rope hanging, and I'm always scared of heights. And we saw the concrete being poured.
Oh.
They were just great. And Johnny taught me perspective. And
So you were an intern there then?
I
What
guess
we
that's-
call an intern today.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
They couldn't have been nicer. They lost a lot of money. I didn't get paid. And the daughter of Mr. DeYoung worked at the studio of Fulbright Brothers. She got paid $5 a month.
Oh.
I mean, a week.
That's
But they were
interesting.
just wonderful.
Oh,
And
you learned a
instead,
lot.
they gave me one drawing, a house that they were supposed to remodel. They gave it to me to see what I could do, and I worked at it for a whole week. And
So
they
this was-
just let me do it. And
this
then
was
Johnny
when-
did it, and he did everything. He moved and he explained what he was doing about he had to move. If I moved the stairs, what happened up.
So this was in the early 30s.
Yeah, that was
Uh-huh.
after my first year.
Uh-huh.
The second year, I couldn't. I had to work at the studio, and they needed me there. I had, when I was a small child, my father used to take me to the studio when he was working on Sunday, and he'd let me crawl up on a high stool and sit beside him. And when he painted on paper, I painted on paper and had a brush. And when he was doing painting on glass, he'd let me try it too. And I started on grapes because they were irregular, and the leaves, the little curly hues that go over the stem. And I, of course, just naturally got better and better as, and he.
Excuse me. Okay. Go ahead. You were talking about working on the stool with your dad?
And of course, I improved as I went along. I mean, and by the time I was through with grade school, I could paint quite well.
I bet.
And so I was allowed to work during the summers, during the recess. And my one of my sisters was exceptional, and she really made that her career. And she went to the University of Oregon and majored in art.
That's interesting.
And-
Both you girls had a lot of talent from your father and parents then. Well, Polly,
So- And then my father died in 1924, and so let's see there.
when you got registered then, where did you start to work after you got registered? Did you and Ray come back to Oregon then?
Well, when I was finishing at MIT, I had to take construction for 6 weeks, only that and nothing else. And twice, 2 different terms. And so one of Ray's, one of the other students in Ray's class was practicing, and he asked me to work for him. And so I worked for Archie Riskin.
Archie?
A-R-C-H-I-E. R-I-S-K-I-N.
And that was where?
Boston.
In Boston? In the
And-
30s?
Yeah. And
Okay.
He was a classmate of mine in the graduate school.
Oh, I see.
At MIT.
in fact, I had done some of his color. He took a class in color. I did it, and he got top grades. So that led to
She did every problem that he had. That
It was
year.
it would be the first one, and they had them graded, the best and so on.
Okay, and then what? Then what happened?
Well, then we went to Europe, and then when we came back, I went again to him, and then Ray started an office up in Pittsfield, and so I worked for them. he
Pitts-
and a partner,
Pittsfield.
Pittsfield, Massachusetts.
Pittsfield.
Oh. Okay.
And that was Raymond Kermit Thompson, AIA, and Morris Olson,
Morris Olds.
OLSEN.
Okay. Alrighty, and then after that,
The war came right there.
World
We had
War
a
II.
child at that time too. We had the first, but that didn't matter. I mean,
You're still working.
yeah.
Hmm. And then you came back to Oregon after that?
No, the war. Well, yeah.
Oh,
Ray was overseas, and
no, the war came along,
Mm-hmm.
and I went into the service,
Oh.
and so that ended our business back there.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't until the war was over that, we went to Ohio first, and then from Ohio, I taught at Ohio State for a couple of years, and then we came back to Oregon to stay.
What year do you remember?
yeah.
You came back to Oregon and
I thought
Well, it was after the war.
in probably 1946
Oh, wait.
maybe, or
Something like that. I was 2 years at Ohio State, and then we came back.
Ohio State, 46, 48.
so it'd be about 1948 then.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then,
I became a member of the Boston Society of Architects and AIA in 45, a corporate member.
okay, and then you formed your partnership when you came back here?
No, because I didn't have an Oregon license, he did.
Uh-huh.
So he was the whole chief.
Ray was the whole cheese. Until when?
Until she got hers in 53, I think it was.
I think it's 54.
53.
53? Oh, that's better.
Formed partnership and
Immediately.
July 1953.
and you've been happily being partners ever since, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And now, Polly, I'm going to move into the next subject area here,
Mm-hmm.
and that are your significant projects. You know, I want to have you think about what you think, some of your significant or favorite projects are. And it's
I think our most significant one was this one.
and what was
Well,
that project?
That was a house for her
House?
sister and her husband down in Cathlamet, Washington.
Cathlamet?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Cathlamet is spelled
C-A-T-H-A-L. Oh boy, I don't know.
I can get it off of the board
I
here.
could probably.
L-A-M-E-T, Washington. That may be one they might like to photograph. Go down and photograph. And from what side of of the house is the prominent side, east, west? How's it oriented so that the photographer might know when the light is best?
Well, this,
Well, it isn't a straight. I mean, it isn't an east or west. It's slightly off, so that it's the plan
Does
is
it
down
go
there, isn't it? The plan it
Yeah,
shows
here we
it
are.
there.
Okay.
Here's the plan.
Okay.
And
What?
here's the north arrow.
Okay. So it
In
would
other
be.
words, this is north.
Okay. So it's facing sort of south.
Now, the river was down here.
Yeah. The house
Columbia
faces
River.
south.
That's south.
A little bit south. Faces. Facing south. Okay, that'll be enough for the photographer to know about. Let's get that. What about another?
Now, maybe he can reduce this.
Well, they'll see. I
Yeah.
think they want some before, early pictures, and then they
Yeah.
may want some as it is now.
Now,
What? Let's see. What
this is-
year was
the
that,
front-
Polly?
the front- these trees are gone now.
Mhm. What year was the house? Do you remember? Is that on there? 1975? Does that say there? I think so. Right up here. Yeah.
oh yeah, 1975.
1975. Okay. And what were their names? What's the name of?
Moors.
And it's
Moors.
unusual, the Welsh spelling.
I'll get that later off of the board.
Mooers.
E-R-S. Okay. And the initials were
Ray F.
Ray F.
Not Raymond, but Ray.
Okay. Okay. And okay. How about another project?
Ray Culver.
This one, Culver,
Mm-hmm.
you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Now this was the fire station.
This was a fire,
This is
Yeah,
a
it's
city
a-
hall and fire.
a city hall and fire station. In other words, this portion here is all the city hall.
City Hall and fire
And
station.
this is in, where offices, part of it belongs to the city hall and part of it is to the fire station.
It
Okay.
houses the fire department, the police department, you see,
Uh-huh. And what
and the
year?
mirror.
What year was that project? Do you remember?
Gee, I don't know.
Okay, it's not on there. Well, we can find that out later. Okay. And do you know if that's facing what direction?
And the other one,
Okay.
This street here this is going south,
Okay, so
going
that,
south that way.
okay, so it's east-west orientation then, isn't it? Facing east and west. Because it kind of goes through east and west. Okay.
This is the front of it. All right.
Okay, and another one?
the Connecticut one.
You want
Yeah.
this one?
Mhm.
What is the name of this?
This is the most recent one. This is a shopping center in Connecticut, Monroe, Connecticut.
Monroe, Connecticut. Okay. Shopping center. Okay, that's great.
This building back here, this wing, is a bank.
Mm-hmm. And what year was that one? Do you? Well, we can find that out later too. And we need to find out about the city hall, but we can do that later.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. Now, Polly, what do you think your specialty? Do you have a specialty about your architecture?
I don't think so, no.
Okay, you've done both commercial and residential.
Well,
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
what?
You've done both.
Yeah. Ray was afraid we'd be stuck with residential when we first opened, but
That hasn't proved true, right?
we haven't done a great deal
Mm-hmm.
of residential work.
And
We did,
I think I remember, oh, excuse me, go ahead. You've done.
well, we did 2 sorority houses. And of course, they're, one was the remodeling. Oh, we were going to consider that as one, the
Oh, yes.
A.O. Pie house.
Oh, yeah, let's
Because,
do that.
That was not
I
a
forgot all about
new
it.
building that we did, but we took a small appearing house, which was just an ordinary nice house.
Where was this located?
This was at University of Oregon.
University of Oregon?
The other house was, which was started from scratch, was at the Oregon State, but the A.L. Pie house, we
I don't think
We
I
made
can see
it
that
won't be in one.
later. Yeah, you don't
Oh,
need to
is
show
it
it
in
to
there?
me right now. I just
Oh,
want to
all
get
right.
through our recording, then we can take a look at that a little bit later and get the dates and things. Okay, that's great. That will be, and so one was at University of Oregon and another sorority was at Oregon State, right?
Yeah, that was the remodeling. Just gave them a great lift in their rushing after.
Yeah. Okay. All right, now I got to move you on to some other subjects here. Lectures. You've given a number of lectures, haven't you, on the stained glass
Oh, yes,
of your father's work?
in Ohio, at Ohio State University, I lectured on the stained glass.
And what was your father's name, Polly?
David Lincoln told me.
David Lincoln. Okay. Any other kind of lectures?
Oh, in Portland, I talked to the university women on groups on architecture, modern architecture, and contemporary. And I taught
Lectures to Lincoln High School students' social study classes on architecture. Okay.
and then I have given a number on stained glass of my father's work
Yeah.
to various
Audiences.
to such groups as the let's see,
It's okay. We don't need to know all of
historical
that.
groups
Mhm.
around.
Okay. And any publications that you've done?
Well, when Ray had the firm up in Pittsfield, we had articles and an illustration of a house in the Pittsfield Eagle, the local newspaper. One illustration and a talk about it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Have you served on any boards or commissions?
Well, I think you want architectural ones, probably.
No, not necessarily.
Well,
Whatever.
I worked on the MIT Women's Association. I was corresponding secretary for 2 years on that. That was when I was living in Boston or Cambridge, and I was on the regional. Wait, no. I was on the Girl Scout city board, citywide board, where I represented the district
In Portland?
in Portland. Yeah.
Okay. And any juries or?
A jury? Oh yes, I had jury duty. Let's see.
I think they mean like on architecture.
Oh no. Oh well, yes, I went down to University of Oregon one time. One summer. Ed Lawrence drove me down.
Okay. And you've been on AIA committees. I can remember the Design Awards Committee
Yeah,
you worked on.
And I was on planning, regional planning and city planning.
Okay.
That was good. I liked that.
Okay. Well, that's great. Okay, now we're going to just talk about some of the things, just kind of, they're calling this discussion questions, but, and you've talked about some of this already, but let me just pose the ones they've asked here. What led you to become an architect?
Well, I think if my father had lived, maybe I might have been
And
in a stained glass career. Though I know when often I would go with my mother and father for dedications.
Oh,
and
to the
see
buildings in which his glass was, huh?
But I was often very disappointed with the buildings. I didn't think they were half as nice as
the glass.
Yeah. So, and I loved to look at House Beautiful. I thought that was wonderful. And finally I decided, well, if I didn't like the building, but I liked the glass, maybe I should design churches. So that's where I got the idea to begin with. And for a long time I saved a number of the issues that I had at the time that we were in Boston, but that they went in the fire.
The fire at your office?
But
I remember that well.
we were doing the culvert job,
I
and we almost wrecked. All the drawings went, but there were a few that had been given out, you see, to look at.
We had this job underway.
Yes, I
at that
remember.
time, the fire.
And that was in the Henry building,
We
wasn't
had
it?
what?
Wasn't that the fire in the Henry building?
Not in the Henry. It was in the Hughes building,
Hughes, I mean.
which was
Yes.
down. The Henry building is where you
We
went.
moved into a place down in Old Town, And
Well, you were the one that got us
Yeah.
that told us to go down there and see the NATO brothers. It was
Right.
Jody that
yeah,
sent
And
us
then
there.
we kind of helped too, help find some people to help you, to meet the
Uh-huh.
deadline.
Yeah.
And you all
Yes.
worked together, you know.
Oh, they were wonderful.
Wasn't that a
we got,
team?
There was.
we got 4 fellows. We had only one draftsman working for us
Uh-huh.
at the start.
Just one.
And
Draftsman.
he thought he was out of work when he saw the fire. And instead of that, he had more work than he ever anticipated.
And he called us up and he
Right. In
told
such a
Ray.
He
hurry.
called us up at 8 o'clock in the morning and
He said,
told us he was,
I can't go to work.
he couldn't go to work. No, his place was on fire. So I dashed downtown as fast as I could.
Yeah. Oh, that was awful.
And
Well,
Let me ask you, Polly, we'll come back to the fire a little bit later because I think it's such an interesting story, but I want to get through some of these questions so we sure we have everything for this exhibit. In a way, your father and mother were instrumental in assisting you in making a decision to become an architect?
well, he was dead before, you see.
Your father passed
before
away.
I went. But he would have approved of it, I think.
Mhm.
After all, he always believed in women's rights. And actually, my mother was the treasurer of the company.
I see.
And on the
Of Povey
letterhead,
Glassworks.
uh-huh, she was always just H.M. Povey.
Oh.
It wasn't Hannah. But
Mhm.
she had...
She was a liberated woman of her time, huh? And your dad too. Sounds like he was pretty.
Well, there was a time when, I won't get into, I could tell a story right there, but
Okay, we
go
better
on.
not. Huh?
But no, he did, and my eldest sister became a doctor and went to medical school after her husband was killed in the war.
You would say that your family helped you decide, was instrumental in encouraging you to become an architect.
Yeah,
Anybody else?
Oh, Ray was quite willing to.
Ray played a part in this.
When I
too.
went down there, I wasn't going to get married. I was just going to have
A career.
a career.
Well, things change, don't they, sometimes? What we planned. What obstacles did you have to overcome to become an architect?
Well, at that time, there were definitely a feeling that you shouldn't be an architect if you were a woman. But not here in Portland, I didn't think. But I wasn't here really. But when I wanted a job after that first term, I had no difficulty in. Well, the thing is, I never went asking for a job. In that case, my father was dead by that time and died just before I graduated. So they know that they had been talking, you see, and White House was. Do you remember him?
No, I don't.
That in my family, that was supposed to be the top architect. For one thing, my father said he never swore. He was always a gentleman. All the other ones lost their temper at one time or another that he heard. He knew that they had.
So a lady could work for him.
He did beautiful work, and he was a gentleman.
That's interesting.
But I was offered a chance, but they were going to do some remodeling, and I'd have to wait. And they thought that they would be through it. I'd have a month there. And then when my brothers mentioned that over at Young and Rose, they said, well, we'll give her a job right now. And so I got that one. And I thought it was
So you
great.
didn't really have a kind of a battle as a woman at that time.
No,
to,
but then when we went
get in the
to
profession.
Denver, I found that they were quite amazed. You really want a job as an architect? And there was one office that there was no right at the start, but he had a man secretary. There was no woman in the place. Nobody could. But and that happened, and the fact that I was married.
Oh,
That was very much against it at that time.
Who was that?
Huh?
What architect was that?
In Denver?
Yeah.
I don't remember, but he had a beautiful office. It was very
Remember the
artistic.
office. Who do you think was instrumental in assisting in your career?
Ray.
Ray, right.
I couldn't have done it without him. I
shouldn't
mean,
have.
being married to him.
I shouldn't have come in the room when
No.
that question came up.
Oh, no, she would have said that anyway.
Well,
And here's the next
I
question.
tell you my family would, because I know when we came back, I mean, we were busy with a job, and so I didn't study for the exam, or I didn't study enough, maybe I should say. And then one of my brothers, he said, you work at it this year, because it'll be just harder next year, and you're always going to have too much to do
Right.
on the board.
Well, that was good advice, wasn't it, from your brother?
So,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
So you had a lot of support from your family members as well as Ray.
He was right, too.
The next question talks
That
about.
exam just about threw me. That man, the man that wrote the math problems, you know, he left out a member on in a problem, and everything was wrong, and I picked that one to start on,
Oh dear.
and it just, well, so, and it was a long time before anybody.
Figured it out that the question
it
was
was
wrong.
wrong.
Oh my goodness. What did you do during the Depression? Actually, you talked earlier about that you were in Boston, and how the AIA organized a relief kind of program where the architects who had work gave money to be dispersed to those out of work. And that, I think, is a really interesting story about how a professional organization can help those in difficulty during hard times. So in a way, although probably not today, we don't probably collectively give money, we do try to help people find jobs through the AI and things like that. But it sounds like you were in a good spot at that time, you know, where people were trying to help each other during the Depression.
Well, I thought it was, and the work that they were doing was something that was really needed.
Mm-hmm.
They just weren't killing time. They actually produced documents that were used to improve the situation as soon as the money came along. And,
Like housing for people.
DC, they have a whole file there of old buildings, and they were all measured up and drawings made by these people who were unemployed. Those
So
are
they
the
made
kind
a
of
real
projects that-
contribution.
And they developed these projects themselves and worked on it.
And it was that way in Boston. I mean, part of the work they showed the bad parts of it, and then the other part was where the beautiful buildings that were worth saving or hoped to save, they made exact drawings.
Those kinds of things probably wouldn't have been accomplished unless there'd been this period of time where people had time to do that kind
Yeah.
of thing. That's
That's it,
interesting
exactly.
contribution. Uh-huh.
Yeah,
And-
the Boston Society was wonderful in studying
Mhm.
what they should do and coming up with things that were
Yeah.
worthwhile.
Well,
Worthwhile.
Boston
Not just busy
not only
work.
covered Boston, but it covered everything north of there.
Yeah,
Mhm.
And took in New Hampshire.
yeah,
and
it was the
Maine.
whole New England, let's
Right,
say.
area.
But the Boston Society really was the big society of all of them, the
Yeah.
most influential.
Uh-huh.
They had a school, architectural school,
Boston Architectural
and
Center.
anybody that went through the whole range of that.
Uh-huh, right. How did other historical events affect your career? Like, you talked earlier about World War II,
Yeah. Well, that was one.
and that affected you because Ray went into the service and had to quit practicing what did you do during that time, Polly?
Well, I finished having my second baby.
Right. That was a historical event. You had two historical events. So while Ray was in the service, while you were a mother, were you working as well?
No,
At that
I
time?
did typing a good deal for the few Harvard students that were
Mhm.
still around.
Mm-hmm.
And they had courses at MIT and Harvard that were really Navy and Army
Mm-hmm.
courses.
Right,
And
right.
I did a lot of papers. That's what I did during that time.
Right. Are there any other kinds of events like of historical nature since World War II that had an effect on your practice or your life?
I don't know what you mean.
Well, I guess wars are the thing that come to my mind about things. Maybe, I don't know either whether, see, World War II certainly did affect so many people dramatically. Now, the other wars we've had, like the Vietnam War and the Korean War, so forth, have not necessarily affected architectural practice for you
Well,
in the same way.
yes. Well, look, which one was it? They stopped all the building materials.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't.
Yeah, I remember Aurelio got all upset over because his son-in-law, who was selling automobiles, couldn't sell automobiles anymore.
Mm-hmm.
There was a stop on that. And I thought, well, what about the architects? They can't build anymore either.
No,
Yeah,
the,
because
but
building
he-
products.
all the.
That didn't occur to him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We'll
Well-
show you a picture in here of a house that it was all ready to go and no
Mhm.
materials.
Mhm. Couldn't get the appropriate materials. Well, certainly,
By the time that they loosened that,
Mhm.
the family had a new job someplace else, and
That affected your projects through the. Well, there's the
we were
cycles
paid
of.
for the drawings, but
Mhm.
we never saw
Never
the house.
built the house. Uh-huh. Well, so many things like the dips and dives of the economy that affect practice of architecture.
Yeah.
But these, I think they had in mind things like the Depression and the World War II that we've already talked about. So the next thing is, how did you mix work and family and your children?
Well, it's a balancing act.
Right.
It sure is. At the time I was at MIT, there was a student at, I think, Smith College that wrote a thesis on architecture was a good career for a woman because she could have her children and still take time out and then get back, and it didn't make any difference.
Oh,
But I know that I saw one of the other women architects that was having difficulty at the time in Boston, and I thought, well, I don't want to have it like that, because she was having trouble getting somebody good for the children. But when we came back to Portland, we moved out to the southeast, not at the very start, but soon after, because the house that we got wasn't satisfactory. And we had 2 children and a cat and a dog. And the apartment buildings didn't want us, and an architect that we knew, or had known, well, had designed a whole bunch of small houses, and we went out and we liked the examples that they had up, and we ordered one of those, and it turned out fine, and we still own it.
did you work at home, Polly, when your
We
children were
found
small?
that there was everybody was moving in at the same time, and there was a couple of young women came by, and I said, do you know anybody who would take care of children by the day? And one said, well, she wasn't going to work on a job, but if that sounded good to her, and I said, well, we'd keep it on a business basis. It would be only for a day job. It wouldn't be night or anything like that. It'd be regular hours. And there was one house between us, and then hers. And she had no children at the time. They were fairly new married. And it worked out just great. She was sweet and kind and gentle. She loved children. She wanted children. And they lived there about 5 years. And she always was very careful with knives and, all the things that you need to.
Oh, that's great. So
And,
it freed you to be
had-
able to work then with Ray.
And,
Start your practice.
And it worked out just fine.
Oh, that's good.
And then for babysitting in the evening, we had to find somebody else.
Good. What advice would you give to young women today considering architecture as a profession?
Well, make sure that they didn't want to possibly do something else
Other than architecture. Right.
They really have to want to do it. And they need a very good education in math and the sciences, as well as the artistic side. It's really a good combination to have, but it must be both.
Right. And they should.
And then take an awful lot of public speaking and that sort of thing.
I agree with that.
And if you could possibly take a lot of business courses along with it, it's so much the better.
Yeah. It's hard to do and get all your architecture courses in too, but in this age it's certainly an important element. I agree. Do you think a larger percentage of women in architecture will affect the field of architecture?
I don't think so. I'm always very concerned about the safety and the health when I work, and I think that is a paramount thing. But I think it's possible to start with that always uppermost, but come out with something that's very livable.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I think it's a help in it.
Mm-hmm. And young women have the possibility of contributing, insight to projects.
I think it's a most important factor. It has to be structurally strong, but it can be very pleasing.
Mm-hmm. One kind of to wrap this up in terms of the recording thing that isn't just on this question, but because I know you both so well, I think it would be interesting for you to mention how you practice together, you and Ray,
Well,
how you do your work.
we found that the way that MIT taught was fine, and we combined that. At MIT, on problems, each person was supposed to work by himself and come up with a solution. And so Ray and I, when we go over all the facts for the client, we know exactly what he thinks he needs, or she does. And then we start in and work separately and come up with an esquisse, a sketch. And then we take the two esquisses and tear them to pieces, see if one has something different than another. Is it better or is it worse? And should that be incorporated in the other one, or this one in that one? And sometimes they come up very close alike, and sometimes they'll be somewhat different. And then when we combine them, we go on and develop. And I think it works out pretty well, don't you, Ray?
Yeah.
Did I explain it pretty well?
Yes, you explained it all right.
Yes, I think it's really interesting, a husband and wife team of such long standing, working together in the practice of architecture is fairly unusual. And you've apparently found a way from both of your perspectives, to put a project together that you both work on. Is that kind of the way it works most of the time? That you both work on each of the projects that come into the office?
Yeah.
Rather than you having a separate project and Ray having a separate project you work on.
Reminds me of that, of Archie. When you worked for Archie,
Mm-hmm.
one day I came in there waiting for her, and Archie wanted, so he gave me a problem to do, if I could do it. He wanted to see just what I would come up with. And so, okay, I went to work on this problem, and I came up with he didn't show me what he had figured out, but my design was approximately the same thing. It was pretty close to it. And he says, well, that's all I wanted to know, was whether I was on the right track or not. And so he went ahead, and that was a restaurant there in Old Town, Boston. And so he went ahead and built it that way.
Well, that's
And,
interesting. Well, so the two of you combined your practice together, but you start from maybe a different perspective and then bring your solutions
Yeah.
or your ideas together and settle on a design then for your clients with the input. Is there anything else we've missed, Polly, that you'd like to mention in terms of architecture or your views about it today that are any different than they were before?
No. Well, and you were talking about working together.
Uh-huh.
Well, when I was at Oregon and Ray was at there, I realized that he knew a great deal more about structure than I knew. And he used to grade papers for one of the professors.
Mm-hmm.
And math was fast with him, and he didn't even bother with slide rules as so many of the others did. He's just natural. And when we were in New York, and Dr. Keenholz was there, he had been at medical school with my sister. He gave us tests, and Ray came out in the genius class way up in it. I was just missed it by about 1 or 2 points.
Miss Genius.
That alone, I was so glad that Ray was smarter than me, than I. Well, I would hate to be married to somebody dumber.
That's why it's worked so well.
And,
Well, that's a nice note to end on, I think, don't you, Ray?
Yeah.
That's great. Well, I'm going to stop the formal part of this interview. It's not been very formal, but we've had a lot of fun doing it, I think. And then we'll just talk about the kind of nitty-gritties about how the rest of this is going to work. And,
Well, Dr. Keenholz also said that people who go in the same field usually have better marriages than the ones that have opposite fields.
isn't that interesting? That's an interesting observation. Well, you've certainly succeeded at both.
He was a psychologist.
Well, they're pretty smart people too. Okay, that's great.